Alrighty, I'm settled in, I'm ready to go. This season, it's probably gonna be really enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't even drink water, that's disgusting.
What's going on, everyone? James here with another real review, and today we're getting right into The Boys Season 3. The first 3 episodes are actually going to debut on June 3rd on Prime Video. A huge thank you to the team over there at Prime Video for giving me the chance to watch this early for review. Now, these are my spoiler-free thoughts because, guys, no one likes spoilers before the episodes drop. But you know what? Let's have that conversation down below. Are you excited for The Boys? And when you do watch these episodes, let me know what you think of 1, 2, and 3. After this week, though, they are going to be released weekly, so these new episodes are going to debut one by one all the way through July 8th on Fridays. So it's actually going to be kind of fun to see a Friday weekly show like The Boys and have something to look forward to. So man, maybe I need to do more reviews like this for each episode per week. Let me know if you guys want that. But before we get into all of my thoughts, and I let you know what worked and what didn't, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I love talking about TV and movies like this all the time. So if you do too, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on the bell, and hit the thumbs up button. And hey, let me know which character in The Boys is your favorite. And no, Homelander is not an acceptable answer. No. Alrighty, also let's get into what The Boys Season 3 is all about. Episodes 1 and 2 is directed by Sgriccia, and Episode 3 is directed by Julian Holmes. Now it's starring, of course, our ensemble cast, like Karl as Billy Butcher, Antony Starr as Homelander, Erin Moriarty as Starlight, Jack Quaid as Hughie, and even a newcomer, Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy. No, not the rapper Soldier Boy. People, stop thinking like that. But, you know, I kind of went there first too, so it happens. Now, if you don't know where we're at, I'll take a little bit of the synopsis and the summary from Prime Video, so no spoilers ahead, but let's dive into a little bit of where we are at right now with The Boys. It's been a year of calm. Homelander's subdued. Butcher works for the government, surprisingly enough. He's supervised by Hughie, of course, but both men itch to turn this peace and quiet into blood and bone. So when the boys learn of a mysterious anti-soup weapon, it sends them crashing into the Seven, starting a war and chasing the legend of the first superhero, Soldier Boy. Guys, that already sounds like a blast, and trust me, there is a lot to love here. So let's get off on an optimistic note and start with what works with all 3 episodes so far. And for me, it's got to start with the fact that this is just as crazy as the first 2 seasons, and maybe even crazier. I love the twists, surprises, and most of the story beats, whether it be Congresswoman Newman exploding people or Kimiko breaking people's arms. I just loved how this show doubles down on its formula. This show is brutal, and it clearly is not your everyday superhero show, as we know 3 seasons into this, but it's not just all about the blood, the gore, and the guts. Trust me, that's there and it's on full display. But I love what this season so far establishes in terms of its storytelling. It is more of a personal story. It's not just all about action and about, of course, surprising the audience. I love the fact that we're getting down to a ground level with some characters, and we'll start with one most notably, and that is Mother's Milk. Laz Alonso has so much more of an emotional and grounded bit of material to work with. I love how we see him with his family and how he's struggling to either work with Billy all over again or just be a family man. It's really cool to see him interact with his daughter, his ex-wife, and there is also something else there. They're planting some seeds for a pretty explosive rest of season 3, but I can't go there just yet. Now, let's also dive into Kimiko, because she is the other standout for me in terms of her story being very heartfelt. Kimiko is struggling internally this season, and she just doesn't like her powers anymore and wants to live a normal life, but Karen Fukuhara does an excellent job at really acting with her eyes here. Her story this season is more interpersonal with Frenchie and those around her. She clearly wants to try and, I don't know, maybe kind of redeem the lost time that she once had with her brother in terms of having cotton candy at the fair or something like that. She wants to do normal things, but clearly she knows she probably can't. But it is really cool to see that she's picking up things like playing piano to try and do something out of the norm for her. And yeah, Karen Fukuhara really delivers one of the strongest performances so far, and I love what she's done. And guys, dare I say we even get heartfelt scenes with Billy Butcher and Becca's son Ryan? Yeah, I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth, but Karl does a great job of being consistent. We know what we're getting from him. He's got this silver tongue, for better or for worse, and the man definitely knows how to construct a sentence. But I enjoy the humor he brings to his role. He even allows us to kind of peer into what is really bothering him, the root of his anger and frustration. But man, Karl Urban just does a great job here, and I do really enjoy so far what they're doing with the character. Now, even though I'm not someone who loved season 1 of The Boys, I did really enjoy season 2 much more, and I do believe so far that season 3 is going to be great for fans who have been waiting to see how certain storylines would develop. Let's start with Annie and Hughie. Both Erin Moriarty and Jack Quaid are just so good together. Their back and forth is just as you would expect it. It's great. However, there's a sense of conflict between the two. One wants to make a change at Vought from the inside, and the other is struggling with either helping a politician or helping take down Homelander. Gosh, there is so much they're building up to here, but the moments between both of them are really sweet, endearing, and sometimes they can be contentious, but you can tell that because they're allowed to take their relationship publicly, we're adding a different dynamic and layer to both of them on screen. So yeah, they're doing a great job. And then there's also Vought, Stan, and the rest of the world. Giancarlo Esposito as Stan gives yet another masterclass on acting so far through 3 episodes. Every time he's on screen, you guys, I can tell something is about to go down. Not only is he the most powerful man at Vought, but he's gonna be the most powerful man in any room this season. You can just tell that they're always continuing to let him be that character that has a wild card in his pocket. And Giancarlo Esposito just... the way that I am just so happy that he is a part of this show, and this show is definitely getting a boost from his acting as well, and he just delivers. He has this presence on screen that just really captivates me. I'm always locked in whenever he's there. And I also find it interesting that in the first 2 episodes, it sets the stage for how Vought and the government could yet again be intertwined. So speaking of the government, let's go ahead and talk about Congresswoman Newman, and that is Claudia Dumet, who does a really good job here. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name, but I will tell you that she is kind of intimidating, to be honest with you, in terms of the context and what we know as the viewer. Of course, some of the characters on screen don't know what we know, that she explodes people's heads, but man, I think that this character, there's seeds that are being planted. We haven't fully realized what her background is before she became a congresswoman. You start to see some things unravel a little bit, but I really enjoy this part of the story. And yeah, this is going to be one of those seasons where we have a ton of things kind of converging, but I'm hoping that everything does pay off. And before we get into the negatives, I have to talk about this show on a technical note, because while the cinematography and score is lacking just a little bit so far, I love the visual effects work. The VFX, man, they make everything so much more brutal. The blood and the gore, sometimes I even forget that I'm looking at CGI at times, but oh man, there's some imagery here that they play with that made me unsettled. I literally am so glad I did not eat dinner or lunch or breakfast before watching these episodes, because yeah, let me tell you guys, this stuff is tough to watch sometimes. Everything is turned up to an 11 here, and that does include the writing. Things are paced pretty well, and not often did I feel like we were ever stuck in the mud. There's also this heavy dosage of political and social commentary here, where I think the writers are doing certain things on purpose with our characters, like Homelander and the stupid rhetoric that he spews, because it makes me so upset, but I think that's the point. This show does take jabs, and it does not hold back punches when it comes to the commentary about guns, gun violence, gun control, and even race and societal issues. So The Boys, yes, it's going to make you mad in some instances, but just know that I do believe that is on purpose, and oh man, do some of our characters have some great clapbacks. So I really enjoy the writing so far, but I have a funny feeling we ain't seen nothing yet. Alrighty y'all, so with that being said, it's time to transition into our negatives, and I hate to say it, but while most storylines are working for me so far, I have issues with a couple that are holding the season back from being absolutely great. Now I'm willing to be proven wrong, but for all of the hype when it comes to Soldier Boy leading into this season, while he's mentioned a little bit and we do get this awesome flashback sequence that should have worked more than it did for me in episode 3, I am not really understanding why there was hype to begin with when it comes to Soldier Boy. His story feels a little bit out of place, and if anything, it feels like they're setting up for something great, which I understand, but even when we do get, again, that deeper dive in episode 3, nothing about it is hitting for me. And even when it comes to Jensen Ackles' acting, I can't really judge it because he's not given a lot of concrete material to work with so far, but even when he is given a little bit of that screen time, nothing really jumps off the page yet, so I'm a little reserved and hesitant. when it comes to Soldier Boy and his story. And this next point breaks my heart because I do love Frenchie as a character, but man, his story so far this season is really lacking, and I will say it's pretty disappointing. Tomer Capone does a really nice job at portraying this character. His excellent acting has been on display for a couple seasons now. However, to start season 3, I don't know, I just feel like he's not really there when he is there, if that makes sense. His character is being sidelined, and it's not as bad as Maeve so far this season, but I am a little worried that his subplot, even when they do kind of dive into it a little bit more in episode 3, it's just not working for me. It's not very intriguing, but I'm gonna say I really hope that the payoff is better than what we've gotten so far. So overall, you guys, The Boys season 3 episodes 1 through 3, I will have to say, they're pretty darn good. Now, is it great? No. Have we seen better in season 2? I think so. But I'm not actually going to be down and out on this season because they're setting things up with these first 3 episodes that I'm actually pretty hopeful that we see kind of get developed and explored as the season goes on. I mean, I think it's 8 episodes this season, so it's going to be really interesting to see where they take some of these storylines, but the acting is really, really good to great so far. I love Karen Fukuhara and what she's done here. Giancarlo Esposito, Antony, Starr, Jack Quaid, even Karl Urban, and heck, one of my favorite superheroes in this show, Starlight, is awesome as well. Erin Moriarty is trying to take back her power, guys, and I love her performance. But the one thing, again, that is holding back this show so far in this season is the storylines for some of our main characters and our newcomers. But again, I'm going to remain optimistic, guys. I do think they'll right the ship with those storylines, but we got a lot more of a show to watch here. We got 5 more episodes after this week to dive into, so I can't wait to hopefully come back and do this week to week. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would like that, and go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel and tap on that bell, y'all, again, to stay up to date with all of my TV, movie reviews, reactions, and even some news in between, guys. It has been so fun talking about The Boys season 3, and I say fun not because it's fun to watch people explode and get torn in half, but you know, there's even one moment where when you know in episode 1, I want to advise you not to eat anything. Trust me, it's pretty mind-blowing, or it could be a pain in the butt for others. I guess you'll know it when you see it. Alrighty, y'all, again, I've actually enjoyed what we've gotten so far, and I can't wait for more, so thank you a ton for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.